Now they're talking about inflation again. But yeah, like range bound FOMC. I think that's going to be the tail of the tape. Range bound FOMC. It's crazy. Like we got more volatility on the New York Open after CPI than we are at FOMC. So it is what it is. Is what it is.
Yeah.
First volume candle, first like volume push I got was like kind of at this level. And I'm just kind of targeting like a nice GEX, a nice gamma exposure on the S&P. So I'm just waiting to see if we can reach it. Once we reach this area, then I can start taking profit. Because I don't know if we could push higher. We could push much higher, but
yeah. The good thing is now it's about 3:10 New York time. So we typically start seeing also like a lot of flows coming in towards the last half an hour. So maybe you'll see some positioning coming in to prepare for tomorrow.
Yeah, just watching DXY. DXY is making a lower high right now, so still holding my long.
But attention on the VIX again. Look to the VIX at the moment. The VIX is give us a signal. So attention.
Yeah, the VIX is melting down. Yeah, the VIX is melting down. Yeah, so that's the beauty of confluences. Like for me, I have few screens. So like for me, I like to keep like the 5, the 50 minute, 1 hour, all the line. Sometimes, of course, like it's correlated whether I trade. For me, my main focus is usually trading NASDAQ or Dow Jones. Sometimes enter the S&P. Yesterday I had an S&P trade, but then by most of my charts I have on my screen. Are like all the strongest confluences, and I wait for that strong volatility spike in those confluences. Then I can a lot of times make that decision. In Patrick's creation, it's the blind spots. So like Patrick and I, we've been trading our strong confluences for a long time, and of course now he's created this strong indicator that the people enjoy using, because not everyone has multiple screens, so it is much easier to just have it on the one NQ screen or ES screen. So,
and Steve, why do you trade Dow Jones instead of the S&P?
For me, the Dow Jones, it's all for Dow Jones. It's all about being on the right side of the trend. And once Dow Jones, let's say I've watched Dow Jones strong enough where I can see sometimes it's like that ugly sibling where it does something much different than like the S&P and NASDAQ. And the thing with the Dow Jones is once it starts trending, it trends strongly. And a lot of times, like the thing I like about Dow Jones is I could trail it until sometimes lunchtime New York or even end of day. Because if Dow Jones, like especially in the manufacturing or that sector, if the momentum, the volume is strong, especially the international market, because that's the thing with Dow Jones, a lot of international volume enters Dow Jones compared to like S&P and NASDAQ. Because S&P and NASDAQ have like different rules for international volume. Dow Jones trades a little differently. So that's why you see a lot of different moves going on in Dow Jones. So once Dow Jones, like kind of the correlations come in, the DXY, I look at a lot of times the Dow Jones and the trend is strong and I'm on the right side of the trend, I can pick up a nice trade. But also Dow Jones can quickly stop me out as well, which is nice. So if I'm completely on the wrong side of the trend, I just get stopped out and I'm done with Dow Jones. I'm not holding it. So that's why it's a nice trade where the risk reward is very great comparatively to like S&P or NASDAQ, where it can kind of chop it around. So for the first hour, 30, 60 minutes, and then maybe the trend comes up later, not always in the first half an hour. It can come later on the day. Where Dow Jones, it can give you the trend right away. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. And I can easily move on to NASDAQ and S&P. So that's kind of how I look at it.